What's up, everybody? It's Legal Tender. I'm back in the building. I'm back in the vote. I pulled out some notes to make a new video. As always, I want to start off by thanking everybody for their love and support of the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are a fan of Newsmatics, if you're a fan of paper currency, if you are just getting into the hobby of Newsmatics, stay rocking with me, stay rocking with the channel. Every Tuesday is Legal Tender Tuesday, and I will be making a new episode every week speaking about something new, different, or interesting within the realm of Newsmatics. If you have any questions, comments, or input, please put it down in the comment section. I read everything and I respond back as soon as possible. Throughout this episode, if I say something that isn't 100% accurate or it's a little different from what you know, please let me know via the comments. I will go back, hit the books, and make sure that I have the right information moving forward. All right, with that being said, let's get it. All right, so today's episode will be my top 5 favorite silver certificates. So I pulled out some sets, and in no particular order, I'm gonna just run down my top 5 favorite silver certificates. Now, what is a silver certificate? A silver certificate is a form, it is a type of currency. I really cannot remember all of the specifics right now because there is just so much information within the realm of Newsmatics that it's easy to forget some information when you gather knowledge of you forget existing information when you learn new information. But yeah, this is just one example of a silver certificate, and going off the best I can of memory, a silver certificate is a form of U.S. currency that, how should I say it? Okay, so if you have a paper note, you could take this paper note to any Federal Reserve Bank or to the Department of Treasury to exchange. Know what? You couldn't take it to the Federal Reserve Bank because there was no Federal Reserve seal here, only the monetary value of that note. So you could take this paper note to the Department of Treasury and exchange it for the monetary value of said note. So if this was a $10 bill, I could exchange this paper currency for $10 in silver bullion or silver coins. To the best of my knowledge, and me just saying it right fast, I think that is the definition of silver certificates, where you can exchange paper currency for the actual precious metal of silver. If I'm wrong, let me know via the comments. But this is one of the notes that I got making my top 5. So starting off, so I got this note right here in the collection because of this filled in blue star. And another way to identify silver certificates is very, very easy. Now, silver certificates are identified with a blue treasury seal and blue serial numbers. And as always, you can always tell the currency type up top. It is silver certificate. Silver certificate, this certifies that there has been deposited in the treasury of the United States of America $5 in silver payable to the bearer on demand. Now, this goes back to what I said, payable to the bearer on demand. So I could go to, back in the days, I could have went to the Department of the Treasury with this note because I am the bearer of this note. And then they will have to pay me by obligation, because that is the obligation right there. All this wording right here is the obligation. An obligation is a binding contract between the United States government and whomever is in possession of said note. So I am the bearer of this note and payable on demand, which means I could go there and say, I want $5 in silver bullion silver coins or however they was to pay you in silver. And they will have no choice but to honor that obligation that they have documented, because this is a document. This note is a legal binding document. So that there is what a silver certificate is. This made my top 5 list because of the solid field blue star right there. This note is from series year 1934G. And at some point they went away from the field star. I don't know why. I would say that to save on the cost of printing the note. And starting with series year 1928, they reduced the size of the note to save on currency. This is a small size note. They had larger size notes. So in 1928, they figured a way to reduce the cost of printing currency, and that was to reduce the size. So you're saving money on the material needed, i.e. the paper and the ink. But the field star, that took a certain value of ink, a volume of ink. And I would say that they decided not to fill in the star, still maintain the star, because the star represents that the note was damaged and replaced, but we didn't have to fill it in. So that's less ink being used and one less cost. So, yeah, you really don't see too many more filled stars. So this is why this note is in the collection, because it is a silver certificate for one, and it is a filled star. So starting off, that is why I got that note in the collection. Second note that I have, it's a collection. We got 1, 2, 3. So I got these 3 notes right here that make my top 5 collection because of the blue numeral. And these numerals only came in these 3 denominations, the 1, the 5, and the 10. Now, looking at the series year, we have a series year of 1934. 1934A. And we got another 1934A. And the reason that I highlight the series years is because these notes either transition to a blue numeral or they grew into a blue numeral, which means that these numerals was once gray, either before or after this series year. And again, it's just so much information and knowledge with numismatics that I forget which one came first. I think that the blue came first. I think the numerals were blue first, and then they transitioned to gray. I like the blue numeral on the black and white of this note. And the blue just gives it like a clean, not classic, but a very clean pop. Not unlike the United States notes, which are red with serial numbers and treasury seal. But this almost like a royal blue. And then off the contrast of the black and white of the actual note, it just looks good. I like it. Solely aesthetics. That is the only reason that I have these 3 notes in the collection, and why they make my top 5 of favorite silver certificates. So, all right. And again, in no particular order, that is number 2. Now, I would say the next set of notes, they do hold a certain spot with me personally, based on what I did for a living. And you already know that these notes will be the North African notes. Again, one of the rare occasions to where a silver certificate isn't identified with a blue treasury seal or blue serial numbers. They do have a blue serial number, but as you see right here, it is a yellow treasury seal on the $1 note. And this is a completed set of North African notes. We got a 5, yellow treasury seal, blue serial number. See up top, silver certificate. A blue numeral. And the same for the 10. I made a previous episode speaking about these notes in detail on the purpose of origin, speaking about the reasoning why the treasury seal is different. Blue numeral, blue serial number, and yellow treasury seal. A gray serial number, not serial number, a gray numeral right there. This has a series year of 1935A, 1934A, and we have another 1934A. Yeah, so like I said, I made an episode speaking about the purpose and the origin of these notes. They was only printed in these 3 denominations, the 1, the 5, and the 10. And they have great significance, not only to U.S. currency, but to U.S. service members as well. These notes were issued to the soldiers that served in the Pacific Theater of Operations, i.e. Europe and North Africa. So these 3 notes made my list for the historical significance of the existence of these notes. And again, just the contrast between, we got a blue numeral right here and a yellow treasury seal. So I got these notes in the collection for historical significance, and they are a different type of currency. Not only are they silver certificates, but they fall into the category of emergency currency as well. And we have another note that falls within that same criteria. Now, this here note, excuse me, is a Hawaii overprint note. And as we see on the back, we have Hawaii overprinted on the reverse. The same as the North African note, these notes were printed for a military purpose, but these notes were issued to Hawaii. Now, silver certificate, this one breaks the mold right here because there is no blue treasury seal or blue serial numbers. We have, some say brown, some say maroon, but this is another occasion where a silver certificate isn't identified with a blue treasury seal or blue serial number. This series, there was 4 denominations printed. We got a $1 bill, a $5 bill, a $10 bill, and a $20 bill. And I have the Hawaii overprint completed set, but the 5, the 10, and the $20 bill is a completely different currency type. The 5, 10, and 20 are Federal Reserve notes, and the $1 bill is the only one of the 4 that is a silver certificate. And this list is a list of my top 5 silver certificates. That is why the other 3 notes didn't make this episode, because they're not silver certificates. Even though they fall within the same currency type, and those other 4 notes are emergency currency as well, they are different currency types, with this one being the only one of the 4 that is a silver certificate, and the 5, 10, and 20 being Federal Reserve notes. So there you go. And if I did have to say my favorite silver certificate, would be these notes right here. 2 notes, both of a $1 denomination. And these notes are known as experimental notes. You got the R and S note. Again, both notes are silver certificates, identified with a blue serial number and blue treasury seal. I like these notes. Again, aesthetics comes into the equation with the bright red and the bright S just popping off of these notes as you see them. And just the overall history and lore of these notes. Now, again, going off memory, I made a previous episode about this as well, where I spoke in more detail that the R&S experimental notes came into existence back in 1935, series year 1935A and 1935A. Now, these notes came into existence because the Department of Treasury was trying to figure out a way to increase the lifespan and the durability of these notes. So what they did, they experimented with different types of paper. And they made the paper, created the paper, printed them, put them in circulation. They put them out there in the world. And then the S, I'm hearing different things. I've read somewhere where the S stands for special and the R stands for regular. Then I also heard that the R stands for rayon, because rayon was used throughout the creation of this paper currency. And the S stands for silk. A lot of people went back and forth. A lot of people told me via the comments that the S stands for special paper and the R stands for regular. And what they did was they just sprayed a film or a coat over the paper to, again, increase the durability and the lifespan of the note. So there's a lot of back and forth from what I gather, what the R and S stands for, but we do come to the same consensus that these notes are experimental notes. And there's only 2 notes that you'll need to complete this set. So, yeah, check out the previous episode about all the notes that I just spoke about. The R&S, experimental notes, the Hawaii overprint notes, the Field Star notes, the blue numeral notes, and my North African notes, highlighting the yellow treasury seal. So these are the notes that I have. These are my top 5 silver certificate notes. And yeah, I wanted to do a top 5 episode. So all of these are silver certificates, and I am a huge fan of those. We have an honorable mention. This is what we got. Now, even though it is a Filipino peso, the Department of Treasury, the U.S. Treasury, printed this note and put it into circulation in the Philippines. It's 1 peso. The identifying features are, as we see right there, a blue seal, and that seal is from the United States of America. Commonwealth of the Philippines, United States of America. And also we have blue serial numbers. And this is the part right here why I got this in the honorable mention. Some people say that it's not a silver certificate, but it says right there, payable to the bearer on demand in silver pesos. So to me, this note is a silver certificate peso. So that's what we got. All right, that is my top 5 silver certificates. How many of the 5 do you have in your collection? Do you have the entire set of said notes? And that's all we got. All right, till next time, keep it legal, keep it tender. Talk to you soon.